This life is hard. The world's rough. There's trials, there's troubles, there's pain, there's suffering. It's a hard world to live in. It is a hard life to live. And I stand before you today to tell you that it is time to give up. Time to give up. Sorry, I forgot about this. But it is. But I probably should clarify that a little bit. It's time to give up. You know, I was reading 1 Peter 5, verses 6 and 7. If you will turn there, that's where we're going to begin. And this lesson came to me. I got thinking and I said, 1 Peter 5, verses 6 and 7 tells us to give up. Starting in verse 6 of chapter 5, it says, "Humble yourselves therefore unto the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time, casting all your cares upon him, for he careth for you." Right? Here, Peter is telling us, give up. Give up. Right? Now, we're going to run through several verses very quickly, and I will have them up here. And if you can keep up, I am very impressed. We'll begin in Joshua chapter 1, verse 9. Joshua 1:9, here it says, "Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage, and be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee, whithersoever thou goest." The next verse I want to look at is Psalms 55, verse 22. Psalms 55:22 says, "Cast thy burdens upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee, and he shall never suffer the righteous to be moved." Now as we jump into the New Testament, Matthew 11, verse 28 through 30. Matthew 11, starting in verse 28, says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, and lean of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest unto your souls. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light." Our final verse is John chapter 16, verse 33. Here the chapter concludes by saying, "These things I have spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world." These verses clearly tell us that we need to take our problems, our struggles, our trials, our tribulations, and we need to give them to God. Whenever we take those troubles, whenever we are stuck in a hard spot and we give them to God, He now has the power to help us get through. He will help us make it through that trouble that we thought we could never, ever get through. You know, as humans, we hit these hard times and we get stuck and we feel so overwhelmed and we look at ourselves and we say, "I can make it through it. I can do this by myself. I don't need help because I am strong." And we rely on ourselves to make it through it, but eventually we fail. Eventually, we give up in the worldly sense. We quit because we can't make it through those trials, those tribulations, those struggles by ourselves. But if we humble ourselves, like it says in 1 Peter 5, verse 6, if we humble ourselves and we look to God and properly say, "I give up," we will be able to make it through those trials. God will then take that burden that is on us, that struggle, that stress that we have, and He will hold it because He can handle it, and He will guide us through it. In my family, we have a saying that we say so often: if God brings you to it, He will bring you through it. If we rely on the Almighty God, the God that spoke everything into existence, then He can get us through. So the question remains, how will you give up? Will you hold on to everything like the world? Will you eventually fail, and will you eventually give up and quit, just as so many in the world do? Or will you give up like a Christian? Will you take those problems and will you give them up to your God and let Him carry them for you. Let Him bear that weight for you so that you can eventually overcome the world just like He said He did in John. As we conclude this lesson, the decision rests with all of us. We each have to make this decision for ourselves on how we will give up. Tonight, if you are not baptized, you are carrying the weight of sin on your back, but through baptism, you can give up that weight. You can give it to God and He will remove it. And then for the rest of your life, you can always go to God and give it up. Or maybe tonight, you just feel overwhelmed. You feel like the world is crashing in on you. You feel like there is nothing you can do and you are ready to give up. Give up properly. Give it up to God. If there are any needs of the congregation, please come forward as we stand and sing.